Hello. Ugh. We are back. Hey, Keko, how's it going, buddy? I pushed the stream back just a couple of minutes, or about 15 minutes, because I was watching the end of the F2 race due to the, obviously, the postponement of it due to the red flag at the start. So it looks like the F1 qualifying hasn't been pushed back, and it is going to be starting as foreseen, I think, at 2 o'clock, unless it's been pushed back 10 minutes. I think I heard Sky say it's happening as normal. Could be wrong there. Hey, Rick. Hey, Matt. Good to see you guys. Just enjoying a nice little bagel to tie me over. No, it's a bagel. Just a toasted bagel with a bit of butter. Nothing fancy. Right, so the driver tracker hasn't updated itself yet. Just trying to see if... What are you doing? Where are you going? Let's have a look. See if it's going to be... And there's no update, I don't think, that it's going to be starting late qualifying. Yeah, nothing from what I can see. But Lewis Hamilton has not been given a penalty for earlier on. So, yeah, they took into consideration that he was going too quick and when the red flag was originally drawn. So he did slow down, and that's why. No, this bagel is not yours. It's not yours. No. You can give me those googly eyes all you want. This food's mine. Hey, Latifi. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you. New to the stream, eh? Ah, good. Welcome, welcome. Always welcome, newbies. What are you doing, Loons? These things are starting to lose their rigidity, which is why they're falling over. Kitty Cat has a nibble. No. But our own food. 15 minutes. Okay, so it is starting at normal time then. The driver tracker hasn't updated itself, which is why I haven't changed over the screen yet. But F2 was quite interesting. Big crash, wasn't there, into the barriers. Took a bit long to repair the barrier, if you ask me. Maybe they don't quite have the personnel, but it was only the Tech Pro barriers that needed to be replaced or put back in position. And then, yeah, Liam Lawson. Good win for Liam Lawson. I was talking about him last week, before the session, last time around. But, yeah, big news, really, from the practice session this morning. What are you doing? She wants my bagel. Yeah, the session, really, the big news from practice 3 is that, yeah, Max Lewis didn't get a penalty for the red flag infringement. So, you're going to be a good girl and just chill. No answer, so hopefully that's a yes, guys. But who do we think is going to get pole... I need to get to my mouse. Who do we think is going to get pole position? Oh, there we go. Driver tracker's just updated itself. So... Come on. Hurry up. Let's refresh. Let's refresh. Fellow cat owner. Hey. Yeah, thanks, man. Ragdoll. Luna is her name. Will Latifi play a decisive role in the race as he did last year? Not as decisive, that's for sure. Not as decisive. Right. Da, da, da. That's all right, Molly. No worries, mate. Good to see you as always. I don't know why, but I think Lewis or Charles. You think Charles? Well, practice 3, they were focusing on race pace, from what I understand, which is why they didn't really set like that fast of a lap time in regards to. Why is my? There we go. In regards to like the Red Bulls and the Mercedes, so they'll still be there. They'll still be there or thereabouts. They've always had good race, good single lap pace over the course of the season, but race pace is not as good as we know because they're harder on their tyres. A Norwegian forest cat. I must admit, I don't know that breed of cat. But yeah, should be, hopefully it's an interesting qualifying session. The Mercedes look like they've got some decent pace here this weekend. As we said last time around, still think the Red Bulls are quickest. They're the guys to beat this race. And they'll probably be turning up their engines for this race as well. Wouldn't be surprised if Max is on pole. Yeah, me too. Maybe George, but that'll be a wish. I think Hamilton has been slightly quicker than George all weekend so far. So we'll see. Big ball of fluff, basically. Yeah, that's what she's getting like as well. She's currently off screen at the moment. She's right here. She's a big ball of fluff. A Siberian cat preventing you from your lunch. Danny Ricciardo, 3-place penalty. Has he today? Where's that come from, Kaka? What's that for? Why has he got a 3-place grid penalty? Demands you to pet her. Brilliant. The last race. Oh, did he get the 3-place grid penalty then? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, just before the race starts, guys, or the qualifying starts, I'm just going to quickly grab a glass of water, quick drink, and I'll be back. I'll be 30 seconds, won't be long. She's jumped right in my seat. Are you going to get out of my seat? Oh. Typical cat. Moving in my seat. Hey, Simic. Welcome from Slovakia. Good to see ya. Lewis Hamilton fan. Thank you, Seb. Yes, Seb's last race. Danny Ricciardo's last race. Latifi as well. Mick Schumacher. Lots of drivers here. Vettel, obviously, is definitely retiring, but the others, who knows if we'll see them in F1 ever again. Probably won't see Latifi, that's fair to say, I think. But yeah, Danny Rick, who knows if we'll see him back in F1, and Mick Schumacher as well. Cat on the seat, yeah. I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Good to see you, Veronica. Good to see you, Cat. Good to see some regular faces, and anyone who is new to the channel as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Yeah, last race of the year. I'm gutted, really. Wish we had more watch-alongs ahead of us. What we do for next season, I'll be doing them from next season. As I said, a bit gutted I didn't do these at the start of the season. But, hey-ho. So, we've got 5 minutes until qualifying starts, I believe. I don't think it's delayed. I haven't seen the notification come up. Even though the F2 was delayed. But they still finished before qualifying, so... If you have to change your name, yeah. What should you change it to? Oh, that's up to you. Logan Sargent, maybe? Logan's coming in, isn't he? He had a good race. I don't like the fact that your names are all popping up as purple. There's a clash of colour there. There we go, that's better. Nice orange. With driver of the day, think we have to do Seb, Danny, and then someone else. Latifi. Latifi is number 3. Oh, thanks, Fish. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't done any F1 yet this week because it's at a bit of a track. It's at a track that I'm not really keen on. It's in the Indianapolis. It's a bit of a boring track and not something that I'm really interested in. Whereas the next 2 weeks after that are at, one of them's Spa and another Barcelona and Spa. So I'll race those. That's why I did F4 last night. 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, yeah, not long to go, guys. Not long to go. Did Danny Rick confirm that he'll be reserve driver for Red Bull? Yes. Well, reserve. He's pretty much in the marketing team. He's their show driver. Going to be doing donuts. Going to be doing all the events and stuff. He doesn't fall under the cost cap. So, yeah. He's pretty much... Yeah, I don't know if he'll be their proper reserve driver or not. Liam Lawson is also their reserve driver. He's been announced as AlphaTauri and Red Bull reserve, so they might call upon him first more than Danny. I don't know what his contract is like, but yeah, he's been. We said it. Unfortunately, he's almost like a hired clown. I hate to say that about Danny, but it's true. Really, it's true. Hey, Stickman, good to see you again, buddy. What will you do over the season is over? I will be doing more races of my own in iRacing. I'm going to keep the F1 content coming. See if we can... I'll see if we could do... I'm sure there's always lots of news that pops up in the off-season, just like there is in the summer break. So I'll keep doing some F1 videos and some streams as well to discuss probably the goings-on in regards to F1. And then, of course, when we get to January... we'll then start to get all of the rumours of the new cars, the development of the cars, the unveiling of the cars as well. So, yeah, we'll keep the F1 content coming over the summer. Summer? Depends. I'm not in Australia, unfortunately. I'm in England, so it's very cold. But over the winter, and yeah, we'll still be here, guys, getting prepped and ready for March next year. 2 mins. That's right, Stick Man. It's good to see you, mate. Yeah, I know a few of you I haven't seen for a while because of the time difference with the evening races. For me, it's quite nice. For a lot of you who are on the other side of the world, it's like very early in the morning. So totally understandable. That's why this race is like right in the middle. So most people across the world can watch it. But yeah, Jaffe, thank you for the sub, buddy. Thank you. Will there be some after-race celebratorium for the leaving drivers? What, myself? Maybe. Yeah, well, as I said, we'll keep the F1 content coming, like the videos I've done recently. I'll do some streams as well, discussing probably some points about F1. We'll do maybe a stream of our best races of the year. Top drivers, worst drivers, things like that, maybe. 30 seconds, 10 seconds. Yep, not long to go. It's 2 o'clock now. And the timer hasn't started to drop, so has it been postponed? Has it been postponed? And oh, it hasn't. There we go. There we go. And Latifi is out of the pit lane. They're queuing up at the end of the pit lane, ready to come out. So, we always do it, guys. Who do we think who are going to be your 5 to get knocked out of Q1? I'm going to say Latifi. I'm going to say Latifi, the 2 Haas's. I don't think the Haas's have been strong here this weekend. And Stroll. Latifi, then that's 4, isn't it? That's 4. I need one more. I'm going to say Zhou. So I'm going to say the 2 Haas's, Latifi, Stroll, and Zhou. Because Zhou hasn't looked like he's had good pace here this weekend either. Right, let's get my stream up on Sky. Should have had this up already, to be honest, but I was too busy chatting. That's it, yeah. An F122 rewind. Yes, something like that. I'll try and do a stream and make some sort of structure to it, so we can all have our input. 20 Latifi, 19 Stroll, 18 Magnussen, 17 Mick, 16 Gasly. What do you think Gasly, dear? I don't know. I feel like the AlphaTauris have shown enough pace to get a Q1 this weekend. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But we'll see. Right. Come on. Load up, load up, load up. Oh. Right, so Latifi is on his lap. Everyone on the soft tyres as well. Track temperature. What is the track temperature when it comes around? 34 degrees, so nowhere near as hot as what we saw last week. It'll be interesting to see if it takes like a couple of laps to warm up the tyres, or is it can you go as fast as you can straight out of the box? But none of the big boys out on track at the moment. See them come out very shortly. Ricardo, both Alphas go Latifi and Stroll. You think Ricardo, John? I think Ricardo's got a possibility of getting into Q3 here. I think he's found some pace in this McLaren this weekend. Time for a Tsunoda win just to see his reaction. Think Vettel may get into Q3. I think he may as well. I think Vettel has been... He's going to be there or thereabouts. I predict Vettel will be between 12th and 10th. Whether he gets into Q3 or not, I don't know. But yeah, I think he's got the pace to definitely get out of Q1. I don't expect him to be knocked out in Q1. Stranger things have happened. But Latifi is coming round the last corner now, guys. What time can he set? And it is a 1:26.8. That is quite slow. That is quite slow. Expect Gasly to beat this probably around the 26 mark. And there we go. 5 tenths quicker, half a second quicker. 26.3. Here goes to Tsunoda with a 26.1. Stroll, what can he do? Can he beat the AlphaTauris? And he splits them at 26.2. Come on, Vettel. I expect Vettel to be in the 25s here from the get-go. Go on, the boy. No, a 26.2. Albon, what can he do? He showed a little bit of pace earlier in FP3, a 26.5. So I think these tyres are not warming up enough after one lap. As has kind of been the story for the majority of tracks this year, the tyres need a couple of laps to warm up. So expect them to do... I'd be interested to see if Latifi comes into the pits. I reckon he'll probably do his cool down lap now, recharge the battery, and then he'll go again. Or the next lap will be like a recharge lap, and then he'll go again most likely. But yes, Tsunoda there at the moment with the quickest time of 26.1. I really thought one of those would get into the 25s. I think they will get into the 25s. Let's just keep an eye on Latifi, Gasly, and Tsunoda. Do they come in? Do they come into the pits, or is he going to go for another out lap, like a recharge lap? No, he's coming into the pits. Okay, interesting. So maybe it is just... Maybe they don't need to warm up those tyres. Let's see Gasly and Tsunoda. Did they do the same? Gasly into the pits as well. And Tsunoda. Okay, so they're not taking the approach of these tyres need more than one lap? I thought maybe they would. Just because of the track temperature. But we'll see. We'll see. Interested to see if the others do it or not. Mick P2, yeah. Hey, Master, good to see you, buddy. Welcome back. And welcome to anyone else who is back in the stream as well. Much appreciated. And if you can hit the like button, see if we can get to over 100 likes, guys. It's always kind of the aim of these streams. Helps push the channel. Helps bump us up against the other watch-alongs as well. It's not a competition, but secretly it is. But so Alonso's the only one not to actually be out on track at the moment, or at least set a time and be out on track. So Leclerc is on a lap at the moment. Let's keep an eye on his sector times. We know he's going to go jump to the timing sheets, but expect purples here. See what he can do. Interesting that he's only green. So wherever he is green means that he's fast. He's fast, but he's not the quickest. So he's actually slower than Yuki Tsunoda, who's currently set the fastest lap time through those green sections. So down the main straight, he's actually slower. But as you can see, the Ferrari, with its better traction, better downforce through the low speed corners, is much quicker. But this will of course be a quicker lap time, but overall interesting to see that the AlphaTauri is quicker through those other areas of the track. Let's come off of that and see what Leclerc can do. This is easy going to be, I reckon this is like a 25-3. 25-3, I reckon. Let's see what he does. 25-2. I was close, guys. 25-2 by Leclerc. What I kind of expected to see from those guys. Gasly is already back out, so he's not mucking around. Very busy track at the moment, but it's a big circuit, so traffic not too much of an issue, although Norris is really coming up to the back of the traffic here. Look at this. He's on a flying lap. He needs to get around Vettel and Stroll. I wonder if that hurt his lap time there. Interesting to see what he can set as he comes around turn 15, penultimate corner, round the last corner. He's a good pace here this weekend, Norris. What can he set as Perez goes straight into the 24s, a 25.5 from Norris. So only 3 tenths slower than Leclerc, probably held up there by Vettel and Stroll, as Danny Rick really hit traffic there. And so is Verstappen as well. Look at the traffic. There's me saying traffic isn't coming into play, but Verstappen really getting held up, and Danny Rick. Danny Rick goes in with a 25.7. And Verstappen, well, the traffic really didn't hurt him, did it? Because he pumps in a 24.7. So those Red Bulls straight on the pace. Straight on the pace. And we have a yellow flag. No, it's been removed. I think that was possibly for Yuki Tsunoda. It says in sector 16. So, but Hamilton comes across the line with a 25.5. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. Russell, what can Russell do? Here he goes. A 25.5. So 7 and 8 tenths slower than the Red Bulls. So Hamilton and Russell will definitely have to go again. That's not quick enough whatsoever. But as we can see, as everyone has pretty much set a lap time now, other than Sainz and Alonso, Latifi, Albon, Bottas, and Magnussen and Gasly are at the bottom of that pack, or of the grid at the moment. So maybe I didn't see if Hamilton and Russell got caught in traffic, as I think they're the sort of cars that will have to go again. They'll probably do a second run on this set of tyres. I'll be surprised if they come in and pit. We'll see. Fanatec are doing a Black Friday sale. Yeah, they are doing one, but yeah, it goes very quickly. Perez is a good field open for him. Yeah, Sainz goes straight in with a 25.0. So 2 tenths quicker than Leclerc, as it has been the last few races. Sainz has really been good in qualifying. He's been kind of the stronger of the two in the last few races. So a much better end to the season for Sainz than it was the start. That's for sure. But Norris has come into the pits. Danny Rick as well. Let's see if Hamilton and Russell come into the pits. This is what I'm interested to see, because they're all season they've really kind of had to do a couple of runs on those tyres to get them up to temperature. They haven't ever really been quick straight out the box. So let's see if Hamilton comes into the pits and see if they are going to do that and put on maybe a new set of tyres. He is. So everyone is doing just one run on the tyres. They're not going around for a second out lap. That's interesting, because it is quite tight down there. They should have enough. They've got more than enough to get out of Q1. But they're all coming into the pits, and maybe they got held up by traffic. I don't know. It's all about just getting through Q1, isn't it? Managing the traffic and just getting banker laps in. The Red Bulls don't need to come out again. I don't think anyone's going to get... They're definitely not going to be knocked out of Q1, that's for sure. Red Bull look fast. Yep, they're the team to beat this weekend. As we said in previous sessions, in the practice sessions, that Kota, this track layout is kind of similar to Kota. You've got the long straights. You got where top end speed is more important here than the downforce. And yeah, I expect kind of a similar scenario maybe to how it played out at Kota, but maybe a little bit more boring than Kota. We'll see. Chevy, thank you for the sub, buddy. Do I know what date the sale is? I don't. I assume it's Black Friday, but it's like Black Friday week, isn't it? Rather than actual Black Friday itself. But yeah, Black Friday is next Friday, isn't it? Last Friday of November, isn't it? What do I think will happen between Max and Perez this weekend? Nothing, because Perez will probably beat Leclerc. Perez should easily beat Leclerc this weekend. So I don't think they won't need to ask Max to do anything. But everyone in the pits at the moment. So Alonso did a 25.9. So at the moment in the drop zone we have Latifi, Albon, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, and Stroll. Expected faster lap times from those, to be honest. Zhou is tight down there. If you look from 13th position down, okay, excluding Latifi, but there's less than half a second between Magnussen and Albon. So we'll see. 25th is Black Friday. Yeah, it's next Friday, isn't it? But okay, so everyone's done a run. Everyone has done a run. It looked like Vettel and Mick Schumacher and that tried to do a second run because they did 6 laps on those tyres. And Magnussen as well, but it didn't really work out for them. They didn't improve that second time around. I think traffic is just a bit too severe here in the first stage. Because when you've got these slow corners at the end, it's fast corners into slow corners. Everyone backs up here to get a decent run around turn 15 and 16. And it's very easy when they're even if they're off the racing line, to just be distracted by those cars, lose a bit of time, easy to lock up a tyre. So Latifi is back out, and Verstappen as well. Oh, I didn't think those Red Bulls would be coming back out. Interesting. Why is Verstappen coming back out? Look how congested that is. Wow. Look at them. Look at that track map. Everyone is just bolting out. Wow. Oh my God. I haven't seen that for some time. What's my name? Scott. So Stuffy is technically my first initial and last name. And it just rolls off the tongue. Stuffy. You can call me Stuffy. You can call me Scott. Whatever you prefer. Rebel was keeping everything in-house. I think Perez knows he was not on the up and up, and he cannot point finger at Max. Well, so he knows that he's been caught out in regards to Monaco. This is the thing. It's come to light now that, obviously, the Monaco crash in Q3. To me, it is a slam dunk, deliberate crash. We won't go into the details of why, but it's a slam dunk crash, and he's done it on purpose. We know how important Monaco is in regards to qualifying. He was pissed off for Barcelona, having to let the position over to Max, and Max has obviously held that grudge still, which I still think is pointless to hold that grudge against him, considering he's won both World Drivers' Championships. He wouldn't have won the World Championship last year without Perez's help either. And Max's that whole statement was them coming out rather than get behind Checo. They've got behind Max, and Checo's had to come out and like apologise for his comments to Max. It's ridiculous, really. But it's more of like saving face because they don't want anyone to investigate Monaco. Hey, Nikki, thanks for the sub. So, yeah, that's why they do. That's why they've done it that way. But I don't think things have been patched up like they're saying. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how their dynamic works next year. So Ferrari is the only team not to come out. They're happy with the time that they've set, wanting to save tyres. But look at the backup in traffic there. Look at it. Vettel's gone, sod it. I'm just going to go ahead. Shouldn't get caught up with traffic, Vettel. He's quite far around. But Bottas is not out. Is Bottas out? He is, sorry. Bottas is out. He's there. So it was saying Bottas stop. So Bottas is on a flying lap now as well. Oh my God, look at the backup in traffic. Look at the backup in traffic. So Norris is coming to the pits. Vettel is going to catch traffic here. Oh no, so the tracker is having issues with the backup of all these cars. Oh my God, Vettel is going to catch traffic here. I did not think this would be the case. This is a severe traffic jam. Go on, Vettel. What can he set? Can he improve on a 26.2? Here he goes. Maybe a little bit of toe from Ricciardo down the back straight. And he goes straight up there with a 25.5. That's better. That is better. There we go. So, can Latifi improve? He does a 26.0. So Latifi moves out. Can Joe improve? He does with a 25.594. A decent time from Joe. Here comes Mick Schumacher. Can he get out? Really needs to do a 25.5 if he stands a chance, I think. He does a 25.7. I think Mick is going to be at risk here. Mick could be at risk. What about Stroll? Here he is, 26.2 last time around. A 25.7. So Stroll is definitely more vulnerable than Mick. And Pierre Gasly only does a 25.8. That is poor from Gasly. And Albon can only do a 26.0. Wow, so those Williams not doing great there. Neither is Bottas. Still remains at the back of the pack. Hamilton looks like he didn't improve. Unless he's on his flying lap now. I don't know. Norris does a 25.3. Russell... 25.5. Oh, Hamilton did a 25.6 last time around. So they did a half decent lap. But not good enough, really. What about Max? Max came into the pit lane. Danny Rick, a 25.7. Oh, my God, Danny. Danny. But I think that's it. I think everyone... Oh, Sonoda jumps up to a 25.6. Of Magnussen in 16th position. Alonso is just okay there with a 25.7. Oh my God, that was close. That was close for Fernando Alonso there because he's nearly out of Q1. Wow. That little bump in the track in turn 9 is pissing you off. Yeah, it is a bit, because it's like an add-on, isn't it, of the track, but... Okay, so everyone's run their times now. So, Latifi and Albon are both out. Bottas, Gasly and Magnussen, they are your guys who are out. Alonso was close there. 25.782 is the quickest time he was able to set. Danny Rick with a 25.7. Stroll with a 25.7 as well. And Ocon. Mick Schumacher, I thought he'd be vulnerable, but clearly not. But look how many, there's 5 cars there that are all within 25, within less than a tenth of each other. Yuki Tsunoda, decent time, and Zhou. Zhou outperforming Bottas this time around, which is interesting. Got the alphas mixed up there in regards to who I thought would be eliminated. But Vettel, great time from Vettel, a 25.5 to put him into P6 at the moment. So, yeah, good time from him. Bro is retiring and casually went 6th, yeah. Hey, Jenny, welcome to the stream. You really like Perez. I hope he ends second place in the 22 championship. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to see. He deserves it. Although it is kind of a meaningless thing, isn't it, really? It's a meaningless position. No one wants to finish second. So, who's the fastest car in F1 2022? What, in this? Well, this year, well, it's Verstappen, isn't it? Verstappen has the fastest car. I think at the FP3 highlights, what was the controversy with Hamilton? Oh, hang on. Oh, one of the Red Bulls was just sat in the middle of the road while George was on a flying lap, apparently. Interesting. Interesting. So, yeah, basically, a red flag came out as Hamilton was approaching Norris and Magnussen down into T5. Norris was on a slow down lap. Magnussen was on an out lap. And as he overtook Norris, the red flag came out. And he slowed down, but he was going like 300 kilometers an hour. So like 180 miles an hour or something as he was approaching T5. And I think he overtook Magnussen while it was the red flag as well. But it didn't show a red flag. It showed a yellow flag, but it was actually a red flag. So, yeah, they took in consideration, but he did slow down considerably and no penalty given. Whoa, Jennifer, thank you for the sub. I didn't even know I was streaming on Twitch. Do you know that? Am I streaming on Twitch? I don't think I went live on Twitch, unless that's just a follow from Twitch. Interesting if I am streaming live on Twitch. I don't think I am. No, I'm not streaming live on Twitch. Sad for Williams. Yeah, sad. I thought Albon had a bit more pace than that. I thought we had a bit more pace. He showed decent FP3 pace. Maybe it's a better race car than it is over a single lap. But Latifi there, not too far off his teammate. Can he not finish last of the finishers tomorrow? Go on, Latifi. You can do it. Go out on a high. But here we go. Q2 ready to go, guys. I remember Yuki's dream is to open a restaurant while the others said F1 champion. Mercedes looks slow. Well, I think there was traffic. It looks like they got held up a bit with traffic in their runs. Q1 is all about just getting through. Maybe they didn't use a fresh set of softs. Maybe they used old softs as well. We have to take that into consideration. So Q3 is really where it's at. That's where we're going to see the relative pace. But as we know, the Red Bulls are the team to beat here this weekend. Almost 200 people and 20 likes. Come on, guys. You can get that to 100 follows. 100 follows? Hold on, 100 likes. 100 likes. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks for the follow. Anna, thank you for the sub. Welcome, welcome. Morning, Timo. Morning. And wherever you are in the world, it may be evening, maybe early morning, maybe afternoon. But, right, okay. So, Alonso and Ricciardo, quite lucky to get through there. Specifically, Alonso. We'll start to see some more relative times this time around due to the track not being as busy. As we saw there, the hold up of the traffic there was obscene. And it does affect people. Even though they're off the racing line, they're not fully concentrating on the track ahead. They're looking in their peripheral vision of the cars in their way. So, yeah, we'll see. But, interesting. Some good pace shown by Mick Schumacher there. Yeah, out-qualifying Magnussen. The Alpines, I mean, Norris, great pace shown by Norris and Vettel. So hopefully they can keep that up and get through to Q3. I expect Norris too, but it'd be good to see Vettel into Q3. I'm doing very well, Stuffy. I'm doing very well, Veronica. Very well. Yours is night and you just woke up, Timo. There we go. We're international. We go international on this stream. So Hamilton and Russell out first. wanting to get those lap times in and hopefully avoid some traffic, I assume. I wonder if they've got a fresh set of softs on. I didn't think they were that far off of the Red Bull's pace. So I would assume that they've probably used an old set of softs and traffic. So we will see. Hamilton is top 10. Yeah, last time around he was. So we're now just starting Q2. So we'll see what they can do. It'd be great to see if Danny Rick can get out of Q2 into Q3. Don't know if he'll be able to, but we will see. But at the moment, only the Mercedes out on track. You know what's going to happen. As they come round to start their lap, people are going to come out on track and they're going to hit traffic. But I think this is Mercedes' idea, is just to get out straight away and hopefully have a traffic-free lap. From South Africa, and I'm one of 44 people that can speak Afrikaans. Wow. 44 people. That is not a lot of people at all. You think Russell went wide? I think he got held up by a Red Bull as well. He did complain about a Red Bull being in the middle of the track. I don't know if that was Max or Perez, but that did affect his lap. So, okay, so Hamilton here is going to get a traffic-free lap. So let's see what he can do. Remember last time around, it was a 24-7 from Max, I think it was. So let's see if Hamilton and Russell can improve on that. So here goes Hamilton. Let's see what he can do. So, of course, he is purple. He is purple everywhere, guys, because he's the only person to set a lap. But let's see. Let's leave it on because we can see if Russell is able to beat Hamilton's time. There we go. So anywhere it goes green, we know that Russell has improved on Hamilton's time. But at the moment, it looks like Hamilton is faster in that first sector compared to George Russell. Russell is quicker through the hairpin, but not quicker on the exit down the main straight. So maybe that's a setup change, or I don't know, or setup differences. But George quicker as they get out of, so George much quicker down the second sector. Let's see if George is taking the fastest lap away from Hamilton here. George is much quicker. So Hamilton is faster in the middle sector. Let's see how they get on here. Hamilton comes round the last corner and he sets a 25.7. Oh, that is not a quick lap time. That is not quick. Let's see what George can do. Mercedes are struggling here, aren't they? The Mercedes are struggling. Here we go. Here comes Russell. And a 25.363. So much better from Russell. Wonder if Hamilton was on another set of used softs there. Or if he was on brand new ones. But that is not a quick time from Hamilton. 4 tenths slower than Russell. That is quite telling. Quite telling. Cats over dogs. I've had cats and dogs. Of course, I've got a cat now. I love both, but cats are less hard work. Having a dog is like having a baby. That's not to say that my cat doesn't think she's a baby, but dogs are like having a child from experience. Right, so Stroll and Vettel are now on their flying lap. But Hamilton is not. I mean, if you think about it, 25.7 was what was basically the cut-off point for the last session. So that's not a quick lap time from Hamilton. He is vulnerable with that. He'll have to put on a fresh set of softs and go again. I play iRacing mainly with my sim setup. That's mainly what I use because I use VR as well. So where are we keeping an eye on at the moment? So Hamilton's back into the pits. He's going to have to put on a new set of softs. George will come back in as well. But they've set the benchmark. But I fully expect... So Stroll's coming into a bit of traffic here. Perez and Verstappen need to get out of the way. Here he goes. He's going to catch Ricciardo as well. But let's see what Stroll does as he comes through the hotel section. through the corner, which Latifi crashed last year. Fast right-hander, turn 15, through the last corner. Does he set faster than a 25.7 that Hamilton sets? And he doesn't. He sets a 25.9. So Stroll definitely vulnerable there to the drop zone. What can Vettel set? He did a 25.4 last time around, 25.5. And Vettel sets a 25.661. Faster than Lewis Hamilton. Brilliant. Brilliant, Vettel. Great time. Here comes Mick Schumacher. What does he do? A 26.0. Not great from him. And Tsunoda goes in with a 25.8. So at the moment, those three are definitely vulnerable. That's not quick enough for them. That is not quick enough whatsoever. Ocon with a 25.5. That's a bit more like it from him. Here comes Zhou. Zhou really surprised me last time around, sneaking into the top 10. Here he goes, across the line. And he sets a 26.3. Wow, must have had a little mistake there somewhere. Fernando Alonso cannot improve really on his lap time that he set in in qualifying 1. He did a 25.7 last time around, and Leclerc goes to the top by just under 200ths from Leclerc, and Sainz once again the quicker of the Ferraris, 3 tenths faster, and Lando Norris splitting the Ferraris. Lando is on it this weekend. The McLaren has found some pace. Come on, Danny Rick. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Get something out of that McLaren just like Lando has found. Come on. 25.8. Only P10. And Verstappen goes to the top with a 24.8. And Perez beats him by 4 tenths. So to put that in perspective, Hamilton is 1.3 seconds slower than Sergio Perez, and George Russell is nearly a second slower than Perez. Those Red Bulls guys are in a world of their own this weekend. Anyone here fan of Mercedes? Yeah, fan of Mercedes, fan of McLaren, fan of the Ferrari drivers, not so much the team. Fan of Vettel. Number of teams. Right, so let's have a look at it. So at the moment in the drop zone is unfortunately Danny Rick with Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher, and Guan Yu Zhou. So Zhou definitely got room to improve there because that was a lot. That time is a lot slower than what he set in qualifying 1. And Danny Rick as well has got a bit of time to improve. Lewis is going for he's on. Okay, Lewis is already out on a set of brand new softs, I assume. I didn't even notice that. So is Russell as well. So they didn't wait around. So let's see if Hamilton can improve. Let's have a look at his sectors. So green means he's faster than his previous lap. Of course, purple means fastest lap. I don't think he's going to get near Perez, but as long as he's green, it means he's faster than his previous lap. But he is quicker in sector 1 there, or through turn 1. So I expect this to be a much quicker time and probably get into the 24s. Would definitely have had to put on a new set of soft tyres just to get him through. Normally how it goes with the Mercedes. They don't have enough pace in the tank in this car to get through on an old set of softs. So yeah, this is going to be a definite improvement for Lewis. He's actually sneaking in a couple of purple segments here. But overall, that Mercedes is not quicker down those straights than the Red Bull. Huge Bottas and Perez fan. Yeah, Bottas has done really well this year. Do you know what? That Alfa Romeo has been so unreliable that Zhou and Bottas should be like higher up the grid. I mean, oh, whoa, look at that. Hamilton quickest through turns 11, 12 and 13. So here he comes across the last corner or round the last corner and across the line. Currently P9 and he jumps to second with a 24.7. 24.7, still 3.5 tenths slower than Perez, but that does bode well for them. Verstappen with a 24.8, but I'm not quite sure if Verstappen and Perez want an old set of softs. I think there's still a bit more in the tank from those Red Bulls. So let's jump on board with Russell. He's a bit slower there. He's green. He should be okay here. He will improve on his time, but he's clearly had a little bit of a wobble maybe as he's gone out of turn 7 to be that slower and through the yellow sectors. So purple through turn 14. The new soft tyres doing their job with the grip. 25.3 last time around, and he jumps up with a 24.9. So the Mercedes have now got into the 24s, breaching that 25-second barrier. And that'll be good enough for them. They'll be able to come in and sit tight while everyone else goes out and scrambles for lap time. Merckx are losing 5 tenths in Sector 2 on Red Bull. Well, it doesn't surprise me, Jerome, because look at the length of these straights. It's COTA. I told you, it's Circuit the Americas all over again, where they're just going to lose all that time down the main straights. Like it's going to be a mistake or a reliability issue from Red Bull tomorrow for them to not win it, in my opinion. Hamilton, to be honest, this is a fight. Red Bull have got this in the bag. This is a fight between the Mercedes and Ferrari for the remaining positions. Hey Lama, welcome buddy. Good to see you again. So the Red Bulls have come out again. Okay, interesting. I'm surprised the Red Bulls have come out. I don't know why they have, but interesting to see what Lando Norris does. So is Lando Norris on a new set of tyres? I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see what he does. He's out at the moment. Lando's really the one that I'm keen on here to keep an eye out for. 25-1. He split the Ferraris. He's got a possibility. He only needs a couple of temps. He's only 2 temps behind George Russell. So he could sneak ahead of George Russell and get into those 24s. But Lance Stroll now on his flying lap. But he's going to come across a load of traffic here. A load of traffic which could come into effect. Hopefully Vettel is okay. Free temps, Hamilton said. Free temps. But yeah. So 2 minutes remaining. So everyone out on track who needs to set a lap time now has crossed the line. And will be more than able to get their laps in. So Lance Stroll coming and overtaking Hamilton there through the turn 6 and 7 chicane. But I'm intrigued that Verstappen and Perez, I don't think they're going to go set a time. I think Perez and Verstappen will probably just come into the pits. Maybe they just wanted to take the shine off of that new soft tyre. Vettel purple, sector 1, was he? Let's keep an eye on Vettel. Wow. So, yeah. Whoa, look at Vettel's time, man. Vettel is on it. Look at those sectors. He did a 25.6 last time around. He might get into the 24s. Stroll improves. What can Vettel do here? Bit of a slow last couple of corners, but a 25.6. Vettel has just done a 24.9. He's just done a 24.9. That's only a couple of hundreds slower than George Russell in the Mercedes. That's faster than Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. Here goes Zhou across the line. Oh, not enough to get him out. Danny Rick. So what can Danny Rick do? Yuki Tsunoda improves. 25.2. Ocon in the drop zone at the moment. Can he improve? Get him out of it. He does a 25.0. Danny Rick, come on, Danny boy. You could do it. A 25.0. He's out. A 25.0. Fernando Alonso doesn't go faster than Danny Ricciardo. Yes, this bodes well for Danny Rick. Charles Leclerc is he's in trouble here. But he sets a 24.5. That's more like it from the Ferrari. So Lando Norris is now in the drop zone. What? Track is really ramping up. Carlos Sainz improves with a 24.5 going into third position. And Lando a 24.9 as well. Oh, Danny Rick is... That's it. That's it. Danny Rick's through. Danny Rick is into Q3. So is Vettel. Yes, guys. Yes. Alonso, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Stroll and Zhou are out of Q2. And we have Danny Rick. Yes. Ocon, Vettel, Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen, Sainz, Leclerc and Perez going through to Q3. Well, Leclerc and Sainz chucking in a couple of good lap times there, splitting the Red Bulls. Maybe the Ferraris are the ones to keep an eye out for in qualifying to take it to the Red Bulls. Still think they've got a bit in the tank. Still think Verstappen has got a new set of soft tyres to use in Q3, which will mean that, well, there's a possibility maybe of the 24 barrier being pushed. But Russell really struggling there and Hamilton as well. Not really on the pace, but Norris splitting the Mercedes. Vettel basically on the same pace. I mean, Vettel, man. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And from Danny Rick as well. Great to see those two get through to Q3. Fairy tale. Fairy tale. Q3 is going to be mega. Times are super close. Yeah, it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. It is a lot closer. Look, less than just under a tenth from Leclerc to Perez, and then just over a tenth from Sainz to Perez. Verstappen, 2 tenths behind. But generally, what these teams do is that they run an old set of softs or a used set of softs in Q2. So Perez and Verstappen probably have got this quite comfortably, I think. I don't think they use a new set of softs. They may have done, but generally speaking, they normally don't. Leclerc and Sainz probably use a new set of softs. So did the Mercedes. So I think Red Bull have got this in the bag. It'd be interesting to see what it's like between Ferrari and Hamilton and Mercedes, though. We could have a good fight tomorrow between the Ferraris and the Mercedes. I think Red Bull, keep saying it, have got this. I've got this now and tomorrow. So. But brilliant by Seb, guys. Absolutely brilliant. To see him in P8 to out-qualify Stroll as well by nearly half a second is brilliant. Four tenths, I think it is. 4 tenths between them. So, yeah, nearly half a second to his teammate. Fernando Alonso, big shock there, struggling to get out Q2. What was he? Oh, Jesus, look at the time. Only a couple of hundredths between Ricciardo and Alonso there. Really close to being knocked out. Ocon out qualifying Alonso. Good performance from him. Zhou at the bottom. So, yeah, really tight. A lot tighter than I thought. Yeah, so who's prediction for 1, 2, 3, guys? Who do you think is going to get pole position, second and third? I think it's going to be Max, then Perez, and then Carlos Sainz. I'm going to say Carlos Sainz is third. Don't think the Mercedes have got the single lap pace here. They look better like race pace. I don't think they've got the single lap pace. I think the Carlos Sainz will be third. And I think the Red Bulls will be first and second. Max, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton. Yeah. I have to switch Leclerc from Sainz. I think that's what it'll be. I think it'll be the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Ferraris, and then the 2 Mercedes. I just don't think the Mercedes have anything in reserve. I think they're kind of full out at the moment. This track just doesn't suit them with the long straights. Max, Perez, Leclerc, Vettel, Ricciardo, Ocon. Imagine that. There's no rain to throw up an interesting qualifying session this time around in Abu Dhabi. Maybe Max will give it to Perez. So Perez, Max, then I hope Sainz. No chance, Anna. No chance. No chance. But yeah, interesting qualifying session there, guys. Interesting qualifying session. Well, if you can hit that like button in between the next session before Q3 starts, if we can get to 100 likes, I think we're currently on 36 at the moment. There's 300 of you here. If you can, hit the like button, it'd be much appreciated. Helps push the stream. And hit that subscribe button as well. That's a little bit more important, the subscribe button. Because I'll be back here streaming the race tomorrow as well. Last race of the 2022 season. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully. Proper tinfoil hat time. Do you think they've turned Perez's engine right up? Not done the same to Max as a bit of behind-the-scenes playback for last week. It's a possibility, James. It is a possibility. They do all sorts of things in the Red Bull garage. But knowing it, no. I don't think so. I think Max has still got enough in the tank here to beat Perez. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. But no, Verstappen just wants as many wins as possible. Verstappen is number one. It's Team Max Verstappen. So yeah. Right, here we go. Q3 is starting. Q3 about to start. Let's see. Can we get into the 23s? I think so. I think Perez and Verstappen still have enough in the tank to still get this across the line. I think Verstappen's been holding back a little bit. He's got enough there. I think we'll see a time in the 23s, guys. Will I be streaming? Oh, Joran, don't you worry. I will be streaming this next year for sure. 100% I will. Yeah, I've really enjoyed these watch-alongs. I'm gutted that I didn't do them sooner and start them at the start of the season. I'm going to keep doing some, of course, I do my sim racing in the meantime. So I'll still be putting out sim racing content and streams. But I'm going to I want to do more F1 content, F1 videos, do some streams as well. We're going to do like an F1 22 rewind and do some streams in the off season, because there's, as we know of F1, it doesn't stop. It's continually evolving. There's always news that comes out. And as soon as we get into the new year, there'll be the talk of the new cars, the development of the new cars, rumours, and yeah, it'll be interesting to do some streams on those as well. McLaren are looking fast, Ben. Yeah, Danny Rick is not getting the most out of that car compared to Lando, but Lando is a sneaky one here. Interested to see if he can maybe split. Maybe he can sneak into the top 5 here. Get ahead of the Mercedes or get ahead of one of the Ferraris. I don't think so, but Lando is definitely looking strong here this week. Leclerc will bin it. Even Michael gave B a win on the Ferrari team back in the day. Yes, he did, but I don't know. It's very different this time around. If Verstappen wants like some easy points for like some easy PR points, then he would help out Perez and do something of the sort. But I just don't think so. I just don't think he will. Oh, thanks, Lama. F1 22 VR is just, unfortunately, it's great that it was added, but it needs a lot of work. It's still very much just an add-on and kind of an afterthought at the moment. I've heard people say that, oh, it's okay with my 4090 or my 40 series card or a 3090. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have to pay £2,000 for a graphics card to get a game working in VR. Just saying. So, yeah, still a lot of work to be done on it. And then, so we'll try again next year. Ferrari, Red Bull, Merc and McLaren has both drivers. The only ones are Vettel and Ocon. Yeah. Hey, Benetto. Welcome, buddy. Have a recommendation for content. I'd love to see you react to submitted racing incidents from other sim racing games from the community. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'll add up probably a channel in the Discord. I do have a Discord that you can all join. We chat F1, chat sim racing, help each other out, and yeah, I'll add a channel in there, and we can do some reactions to it. Thanks, Dominic. Well, yeah, do you know what? Of course, I looked at other channels. I did look at other people who do watch-alongs, because I think you need to take inspiration. And I like to think that I put my own twist on things here. It's not just a copy and paste of stuff. I like to think that you guys tune in, obviously, for the track map and for the live timings, but also for myself. Right, so Hamilton on his lap now. The Mercedes getting out there and wanting to set a fast, set the bankers, get the banker lap times in. So we'll see what they can do. Discord is in the link in the description below, Jenny. The link is in the description. When you try video on a game, shit like crazy, won't accelerate. Even my head was completely steady, so I couldn't see anything. That was pretty close to launch. Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried it in some time. When I get a bit of time, I'll have to re-download the game because I had to uninstall it to free up some room on my PC. See if they've made any improvements to it. But yeah, for me, it just wasn't an enjoyable experience. It was too much hard work to try and get it to any sort of position, relatively decent position to play. And it was difficult to create content as well on it. So, yeah, that was another thing. Right, so here comes Hamilton through the hotel section now, through turn 13, under the hotel, through turn 14, where Latifi binned it last year. So remember, he just got into the 24s last time around. I think it was, what, 24.7 he said, 24.9. Here he goes. Can he beat that? Here he goes. And he goes in with a 24.678. So still 3 tenths off of Perez's fastest time. And George Russell goes, wow, just under, or just over a 100th slower than Hamilton. So those two are just neck and neck, aren't they, those two? But that is still not going to be quick enough to beat the Red Bulls. Can Leclerc beat the 24.3 that was set last time around by Perez? He matches it at 24.343. Okay, that's a little bit more like it, Leclerc. This makes things interesting. Carlos Sainz at 24.2. Woo! So Ocon, what can he set? Perez, of course, and Verstappen still yet to come across the line. A 25.5 from Ocon, so slow from him. Lando, can Lando get anywhere near the Mercedes? This is the interesting part here. Can he do it? Can he get as low into those 24s? No, he's pitted. He's pitting. Here comes Perez across the line. Oh, Carlos Sainz at the moment with provisional pole. So Perez can't get faster than Sainz. Whereas we know Verstappen, here he comes. The man to beat. This has got a 23 written all over it, hasn't it, guys? 23 from Verstappen, a 23.9 or a 23.8. He always does it, doesn't he? Here he goes. I told you. 3 tenths quicker. 3 tenths quicker than Carlos Sainz. But interesting that Sainz has split the Red Bulls there. But, yeah. Need we say any more? He always does it. Every single qualifying session. Just has that little bit more in the tank than everyone else. 3 tenths is quite ominous, really, guys. That is quite a big gap. Doesn't look it, but 3 tenths is quite a big gap. But yeah, so Vettel, how's Vettel getting on? Let's see. So Vettel he's on his flying lap now. No, actually, no, Vettel isn't on his flying lap. No, he is? He isn't? It says he's done 0. I can't tell if he's out or not. I think Vettel's on a flying lap. But interesting that Norris came in and pitted. I'm guessing Norris went wide and probably had to back out. I'm guessing that's probably what he did because of track limits, maybe. Or Vettel slowing down now and G'ing up for his lap time. Yeah, so Vettel is G'ing up now because he's 0 laps. He's on his out lap. So Vettel is about to come round. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. Max is on like 0% AI, yeah. I predominantly race iRacing in VR. It's the best sim out there, really, in regards to like the online system that it has. It has so much structure. And of course, you've got the Mercedes F1 car on there as well, which is just such a joy to drive. So, But I would follow Vettel's sector times, but at the moment, there's not really much point because he's going to be slower than Verstappen. So it would just show green because he hasn't set a lap time yet. But Danny Rick is also on his out lap as well. So they've got free track. Hopefully this helps them. But Vettel, realistically, is he going to get into the 24s? Vettel's hope really is to try and beat Ocon and Danny Rick. That is really his aim in this session. So if he can get into the 24s, that would be brilliant for him. And I think that would secure him a position ahead. I think that would secure him ahead of Ocon and Danny Rick. Norris does have more pace in the tank as long as he can keep it within track limits. So. Right, here he comes under the hotel. Right, penultimate corner, turn 15, turn 16. Come on, Vettel, get into the 24s. You could do it. Come on. Into 24s. Yes! Get in there. 24-9. Good lads. Good lads. How is he dragging an Aston Martin into the 24s? Why are you retiring? Why? Why is he retiring? But let's see what Danny Rick can do. Let's see what Danny Rick can do. As he comes round turn 13 under the hotel. Couple more corners. Come on, Danny Rick. Come on, Danny. Last corner. See what he can do. Where does he go? 25-0. That's a good time. That's a respectable time. That's a good. I mean, he's only just behind Vettel. Ocon's got it all to do here, really. So is Norris as well. Norris hasn't. He needs to be careful with track limits. He hasn't got that banker lap in. Oh. I don't compete in F122, Paul. No, I'm only racing iRacing. So Mercedes worked directly in partnership with iRacing to bring their W12 car from last year to the platform, and yeah, it's as close to driving it as on it's as close to the real life version you will get because of how closely they worked in partnership with iRacing, and it's just it's as close as I'm ever going to get to driving a real F1 car. So yeah, with VR on, it's amazing. That's mainly what I do. Racing wise, and I also do some other open wheel racing as well, like F3 and F4 every now and then on iRacing. But yeah, as I've said in the last couple of streams, I qualified for a sponsored event with Mercedes watch partner IWC, and I'm on Team George Russell against Team Jarno Otmir. Jarno's going to be there, and so is George as well. That's happening in a couple of weeks' time in London. And there's some cool prizes on offer. It's going to be streamed live on Twitch. I'll also be making my own content out of it as well. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Which would a 2020 F1 car be in iRacing? It's the W13. It's going to be the W13. We haven't got confirmation of when that's coming to the sim, but it'll be the W13. Hopefully this version of the W13 and not the one that they were using at the start of the season. Because otherwise I'll be like that in VR. All the porpoising. Right, so Leclerc is on his flying lap, guys. Let's see if he can improve. Let's have a look at his segments and sector time. So a bit of purple in there mixed with a bit of green and a bit of yellow. Question is, are those purple corners quicker than where he's losing time in the yellow sectors? And he is. I think overall here he is quicker because obviously green is quicker than his previous lap. So Leclerc is going to improve here. He is faster than Verstappen quite a bit here. Is he purple through 13? No, loses a bit of time. Here he goes. So Leclerc, I think this is a much quicker time. He's going to get into the 23s here, Leclerc. Oh, here he goes across the line, and he does a 24.092. So Verstappen still has provisional pole. Ocon, here he goes across the line. Can he improve on a 25.5? He does a 24.8. Wow. Great time from him. Norris, a 24.7. So only just behind George Russell and Carlos Sainz. What does he set? Can he get onto pole position? No, he doesn't improve. So Leclerc is ahead of Sainz as it stands at the moment. So can Perez beat Verstappen? Verstappen, here he goes around the last corner. Will he improve on a 23.988? He does, a 23.8. Perez, P2, a 24.0. In a world of his own, Verstappen there. Hamilton and Russell, here they come. What can they do? Can they get anywhere close to Sainz and Leclerc as Hamilton comes across the line? He improves by a tenth to 24.5. And George Russell does exactly the same. So those Mercedes are neck and neck. But guys, was it ever in doubt? The two Red Bulls, the Red Bull particularly of Max Verstappen, fastest with a 23.8. Perez, a 24.0, starting on the front row of the grid. Leclerc and Sainz, third and fourth on the second row, follow closely behind in fifth and sixth of the Mercedes of Hamilton and Russell. Norris, best of the rest, with Ocon close behind. Vettel, not bad from him. That's decent. Dragging that Aston Martin into the 24s is phenomenal. And a pretty decent performance from Danny Ricciardo as well, just to get that McLaren into Q3. Nice to see on both of their last races of the year. So there we go, guys. There we go. Who predicted Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc? I thought it'd be Sainz. If you predicted Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, well done. We said Hamilton, did we? I think the only one I got mixed around was Sainz and Leclerc. So, well done, guys, if you predicted that right. Is the YouTube figure a hobby for you, or are you trying to grow to the ranks? I'd love to grow to the ranks of those two. Of course I would. It'd be the ideal job. It would be the ideal job. So, at the moment, it's something I do on the side with the possible potential of that happening. So the channel keeps growing. You guys keep coming back. I love doing these watch-alongs. I love doing the sim racing content. We have a nice mixture here on the channel, and yeah, I love it, and thankfully you guys do too. So as always, spread the word, help grow the channel, and yeah, maybe one day we'll be there and you can say I was here when Stuffy was less than 10k. But yeah, I have a full-time job at the moment, so but yeah, there we go, guys. So an interesting qualifying session, not as interesting as it has been in the past. To be expected that those two are first and seconds. Just watching Hamilton's lap here. So, yeah, the Mercedes, I think, have definitely got better race pace than the Ferraris. As we know, the Ferraris have been quicker over a single lap all year than the Mercedes. This track doesn't suit the Mercedes really either. But the Red Bulls, I think, are going to drive off into the distance tomorrow. But it'd be interesting to see if Mercedes can do anything against those Ferraris. Remember, we still have the battle for second in the Constructors. Are we going to see some games played tomorrow? Because there's an additional 5% wind tunnel time attributed to whoever finishes third in the Constructors compared to second. And either team, either Ferrari or Mercedes, would love to have that. So it'd be interesting to see. Because realistically, I think either of those teams know they don't have an opportunity of winning that race tomorrow. So that's where I'm intrigued to watch. I'm intrigued to see if there's a little bit of sandbagging tomorrow. We'll have to see if there's any tricks to see if they'll finish below each other. My prediction was head on. Yeah, the first two was I think an easy guess, to be honest. Sainz normally gets better run-ins, but Leclerc always improves more on his second run. Yeah, well, I think Leclerc is just... Sainz has been a bit more in tune with the car this weekend than Leclerc, which is why I thought Sainz would pip him and the last couple of races as well. But Leclerc throwing it in there at the end. Only 2 tenths behind Verstappen. Only 2 tenths and only a couple of hundredths behind Perez. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out tomorrow. But the Ferraris... I don't know. I just don't think they've got the tyres. They just don't have the tyre life to look at to make it work tomorrow against the Red Bulls and probably even the Mercedes as well. So that's why I'm intrigued to see what do Mercedes do. Do they value second in the constructors more, or do they value third and that additional wind tunnel time? So no worries, TNA, no problem at all. Welcome to everyone. I mean, big thank you, guys, to anyone who has stopped by for the qualifying session. Mohammed, thank you for the sub. And anyone else who has subbed for this stream. I am going to be back here tomorrow streaming the race live. I'll be live half an hour before the race. I think it's 12:30 my time. I think 1 o'clock it starts tomorrow. For the last race of the 22 season, guys. It's been a long season, but it's always sad when it ends, isn't it? It's always sad. Latifi dive bomb into T1. He's got to come from a long way back. He'd have to jump the start and do that, Rick. Perez must end up in front of Leclerc for a Red Bull 1 and 2 Drivers' Championship. Yes. Yes, definitely. I think they've got it in the bag. Even if Perez loses that position at the start. It's just too... That Red Bull's just too good. Too good down a straight line. Too good on the tyres, and I think they'll comfortably win it tomorrow. I think it'll be a bit, I hate to say it, but I think it's gearing up for a boring race tomorrow. Abu Dhabi is not that good anyway when it comes to drama, unless it's false drama like we saw last year. The racing is never really that close. I think it's got the hallmarks of a boring race tomorrow, with Red Bull just going off into the distance. So. And Mercedes probably not wanting to fight Ferrari too much for the constructors to finish behind them. Lando must have had a bad lap. I thought he was going to split the Ferraris. Well, Lando probably had to just hold back a little bit because I think he got track limits, or he had to back out of his first flying lap, which always makes that next lap that much more difficult because you can't push it because you haven't set a lap time whatsoever. So he probably had a little bit more in the tank. Whether he would have got split the Mercedes, maybe not. But I'd be interested to see when Lando can take that. See if he can get into the mix of the Ferraris and the Mercedes tomorrow, because he looks like he's got some pace. He looks like. And maybe over a race distance, he might be able to. But I don't know. Once again, I think Lando might have a bit of a boring race himself tomorrow and be faster than the rest, but maybe not as fast as the top 6. He's had a few races this year where it's been like that. Max is going to let him through if they are 1-2. Can smell it. No. Max. Do you think Max will give up a win for Perez? I will be very, very surprised if he does, and I will fall off my chair. There's no way he's going to give up a win. As long as Perez beats Leclerc, that's all that matters. So, is it possible if next season Perez is allowed to compete with Verstappen so that the Dutchman has new competitors aside? No. No, Benny. No. No, Max is number 1. The statement from Red Bull in the week and the comments from Perez yesterday or Thursday reiterate to everyone that this is Max Verstappen's team. Because, yes, okay, what happened in Monaco, Max is still really upset about, clearly. But he won the World Championship and held a grudge over that and didn't want to let Checo by. And Red Bull didn't come out and stand by Perez in regards to the decision. They backed down and said, "Oh, we told Max too late. We told Max it wasn't Max's fault. It was our fault. We told Max too late." And Perez is like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said what I should have said about Max." So that's like Max is still number 1 next year, and Perez will play second fiddle. So it'd be interesting to see if he gets off to a better start than Max, though, to see what happens there. I'd love to see that scenario, because Max could end up getting a load of reliability issues, and I don't know, some things may happen where Perez is then the number 1 driver. What do they do? I'd love to see that dynamic. I'd love to see the dynamic where Perez in the first quarter is quite clearly the title contender compared to Max. The only way that would happen really is if reliability issues and crashes. But I'd love to see that scenario just to see how they cope with it. The whole dynamic within the team and Max's camp as well. That'd be interesting. They both look gutted. If Perez is second, Max doesn't need to. No. Hamo in Abu Dhabi last year, and then there was a Tiffy moment. If I screw up, and the rest is history. Well, yes, that's how it came about. It wasn't Red Bull's fault. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't Max Verstappen's fault. He took advantage of an official's mistake. That's how it came about. So, I reckon Checo should do a Max. That's all right, no worries, Benny. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my interpretation of things. I don't think it's as... I still think there's tension there behind the scenes. I don't think it's always cleared up as what it's been made to be. I still think Perez and his camp are pretty hurt by it. And Max Verstappen and his camp clearly hold grudges. Clearly. And are quite quick to lash out. I think we've seen Max lash out at his own team as well when they've made mistakes in the past. Even though they make very few mistakes. And you can tell that they hold on to things. So, yeah, we'll be interested to see how it plays out next year. I just hope there's a competition next year rather than... I hope Ferrari get their act together and I hope Mercedes get their act together and we at least see a fight next year that lasts longer and continues on until at least the last couple of races of the season. Because this year, we said it yesterday on stream, let's be honest, the title was wrapped up by the summer break. We knew that Max had already won the title and that Red Bull were going to win it as well. And that's very early on in the season to know that the title is only really going one way. So it needs to go on longer than that. Even just as a general F1 fan, even if you're not massively into the sport, you don't really support anyone, everyone wants to see a fight for the championship. I think we can agree with that. We have our favourites, but we want to have the talking points. We want it to go to the end of the season if it can. Most races, Perez was slower than Max, so I don't think it's a fact, not a Max team. I disagree. At the start of the season, Perez was definitely level par with Verstappen. He was Verstappen's closest title challenger, other than Leclerc. And Perez had very good control of that car. It seemed to suit him. Barcelona, he should have won that race. He shouldn't have given up the position to Max. That was the 6th race of the season. And he was asked to give the position to Max while Max was 10 seconds behind, 7 seconds behind. Max might still have won that race maybe on the last lap, but they should have fought for that position out on track. Perez has never had the opportunity to fight Max on track. He's always been asked to move over. And clearly, the whole Monaco situation arose because he was still pretty burned by that in Barcelona. And if he'd won that race, then I don't know what the points positions was at the time, but he definitely was taking it to Max at least, and the pace difference was not too dissimilar. So I disagree there. And then as the development's gone on and like strategy decisions as well, Perez has been made to be more second fiddle. Perez has had different parts put onto his car, and yeah, it's not... Max definitely hasn't had the same car as Perez, which is why Max has been... It's one of the elements of why Max has been quicker than Perez. It's not all of the elements because Max is a very quick driver and overall is quicker than Perez. But I disagree. The first kind of 7 races, Perez was up there with Max, but that presents a problem for Red Bull because for them to win the constructors and for them to wrap up both titles, you do realistically need a 1 and 2 driver. We as fans don't like to see it, but realistically you do need it. And of course, Max's camp are very much like Max is number 1 and that's it. He should get priority. And yeah, we've seen that over the rest of this season. So tomorrow, turn 1, Max Checo fight. Never going to happen. Ferrari was their own enemy with unreliable... Yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Which is why when it presented itself that Perez was potentially going to be the closest competitor to Max, they started to make decisions that went more Max's way than Perez. Yes, Max put himself kind of in that lead role anyway, but Perez wasn't really ever able to fight Max, or never has been able to. So... yeah, Perez has always been there as a supporting role. I get there's an element, an argument that, yes, Perez knows that, but there's times when Perez should be treated a little bit more fairly and should be more prioritised, but that's never been the case. All of their eggs has always been in Verstappen's basket in regards to Red Bull. So, yeah, I'd like to see some good racing. I'd like to see some other drivers take it to Verstappen. I'd like to see Norris get in a great car and take it to Verstappen. I'd love to see Leclerc get a decent bloody team behind him. Like, Ferrari need to get their act together. This really should have been a Verstappen-Leclerc championship battle this year. But Ferrari cocked up so many strategy decisions that Leclerc, I personally think, the reason why we saw the mistakes from Leclerc is because he overdrove the car to compensate for those mistakes or lack of confidence that he had in his pit crew and his strategy team. And just pushed too much, and that's why we saw the crash in France, the mistake in Imola, and it should have been a fight between those two, and it would have been great to see that dynamic play out later on in the season. I'd like to see Carlos Sainz as well get off to a good start to the season next year, because he's got some pace in him. And, of course, reliability issues as well on his side. Russell, Norris, I'd love to see Norris have a great car underneath him as well, because Norris is someone who I think would be feisty. Norris would be feisty in a championship battle. So it'd be good to see that. He was 2 points behind Max going into Monaco. Is that the points difference, Jimmy? Well, if that's the case, then he would have been ahead of Max going into Monaco if he hadn't swapped positions for the win in Barcelona. So, you focus on the wrong race. Spain is where Perez let Max through, and Max was meant to give it back in the same race, but not which led up to Brazil. Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Spain is where it went, and that's why Perez was still burnt from that, and why he did what he did in Monaco. And he just wanted to beat his teammate. He wanted to kind of prove a point, really. So, great for Red Bull. Perez takes 2023 2 world champions. Yeah, I think it'd be great for the sport as well. It would be great for the sport, but it will never happen. It will never happen. There'll be so many fireworks behind the scenes. Max's dad would not be happy at all. And yeah, being Helmut Marko and stuff. So Netflix season 5 Just Survive to catch drama off the track season. There's been a lot. I said last week, if they do not include Brazil, because last year, I don't know if you go back and watch it. So Brazil was a brilliant, like, drama-filled weekend, wasn't it? With the penalty with Lewis Hamilton, him coming back through the grid, then of course their overtake, and with the coming together of Max and Lewis, him driving him off, and then him winning the race. They showed like 2 minutes worth of Brazil. They didn't even touch upon it whatsoever, and they decided to spend more time on Qatar than Brazil. Who in the Drive to Survive team, the editor, the producer, who thought that was a bloody good idea? Like, you left out such an event-filled weekend. If they do the same again this time around with Brazil, I'm done with Drive to Survive, man. I'm absolutely done with it. Perez ain't getting any championship. It's just not fast enough. However, one thing, the car is built around one person. So, Perez is fast enough. He's not faster than Verstappen. I still think he's behind Verstappen. I don't think there's any argument there. But there are elements of why Perez is much slower than Verstappen. And there's the development parts. Red Bull even said that Sergio was running an old floor compared to Verstappen, somewhere between the middle half of the season or something. Like, because they switch parts around, of course they do. And it's just standard development. You prioritize parts sometimes onto one car before you put them on the other, because also you want to find out if those parts are generally better. So you want the benchmark car, and then you want the improved car to compare in a race scenario if they're actually improvements or not. And generally you'll put the upgrades on the guys leading the championship, or who's leading the championship on points for your team, or is more like the lead driver for that year, because they're the ones more likely to get the benefit out of those supposed upgrades, or supposed improvements. So that happens, but it's more so in Red Bull that Max gets that priority compared to the second driver. That's why Albon and Gasly, I don't think Albon and Gasly, and I think it's been proven, they're not bad drivers by any means. I think they had very, very different handling cars to Verstappen. They drove in very different styles to Verstappen as well. And they then lost. It's very easy to lose confidence when driving. I mean, you got to think of it as well. These guys are driving at 200 miles an hour. Like Danny Ricciardo, they need confidence. If you don't have confidence, then you're going to make mistakes. You're going to lose so much lap time. You're going to. Like, it's just confidence is so key in this sport than it is probably compared to any other sport in the world because of the danger element that's involved in it as well. And if you lose that, and clearly Gasly and Albon did quite quickly, especially with maybe the way the team is organised with Helmut Marko and Christian Horner, maybe they're not as supportive as what they like to make out to be, then, when you're going up against someone who is very confident in the car and the way it drives, and is a very quick driver in themselves, then you look even worse than you maybe necessarily are. So... hard to see AlphaTauri go out in Q2. Yuki was close. Yeah. Still love to see Max and Hamilton in the same car and see who is the best driver. Yeah, it would never happen, but it would be interesting. It's a play F1 manager, yeah. It's a very simplistic term of how it kind of all works, really. So you can see. And of course, the cost cap as well. They have to manage their budgets of like, okay, well, we don't necessarily want to build two versions of, say, the same front wing, because what if we build two versions of the same front wing and it's actually like worse than what we currently have? We've just wasted double the amount of money than we could have done. Whereas if you build one, find out that actually it's not good, then that goes in the bin, and you've only lost the amount of money on one front wing. Then putting all your eggs in one basket and building two in the same go. So there's all that element to it as well. So if only Latifi was the first driver, eh? I know. But yeah, right. No, not ending the stream just yet. That was wrong. I pressed the wrong button, guys. I pressed the wrong button. Right, hang on. Right, there we go. Mercedes are struggling due to car performance mostly. Yes, so this weekend, the Red Bull was still quicker in the speed traps last weekend at Interlagos compared to the Mercedes. This time around, we have two very long straights here. Most of the overtaking is done down those straights as well, and Mercedes haven't got a brand new wing, so they've had to like make modifications to the wing that they've currently got, which is not the wing that they would like to have here, which is why they're a little bit more draggier than the other teams, and that's why they're losing time down the main straights compared to Ferrari and Red Bull. But they are better on their tyres, so expect them to improve tomorrow. They're not too far behind the Ferraris. Don't think they've got what it takes to compete with the Red Bulls tomorrow. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yes, Poxy, quality is done. Red Bull don't manage their budget. Yeah. Yes. Ordered R9 and Formula Rim. Oh dear. It's a lot of money. iRacing 200% race. Yeah, I'm not racing that. I don't know if I'll be racing that this evening. But Anuj, thank you for the sub, buddy. Thank you for the sub. And anyone else who has subbed as well. Big thank you. As our last qualifying session of the year, of the 2022 season. One more race to go, guys. One more race. I'll be live here tomorrow at 12:30 GMT, so half an hour before the race starts. So turn those notifications on. I will go set up the stream just after this, so you can wait around in chat. And we can see it tomorrow. My thoughts on Red Bull overspending. Oh, there's not enough time. There's not enough time in the day, Anna. But yes, they pushed the rules, spent money elsewhere where they shouldn't have done. And yeah, they've been punished for it. And I don't think they've been punished harshly enough for it, if you ask me. So yeah. Expect a lot from Mercedes next year, so I'd love to see some nice Verstappen and Russell battles. Yes, I would just like to see someone take it to Red Bull, because Red Bull is still going to be #1 next year, still going to be the team to beat. Those penalties for the cost cap are not really going to affect them until the second half of the year and 2024, because pretty much they've got a good concept on the regulations already, and they're probably quite heavily into their development of the car next year. There's not too many regulation changes, so it's pretty much kind of the same car next year. So they'll still be the team to beat, that's for sure. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Please hit the like button. Let me just quickly check where are we at. Where are we at with likes? Where are we at with likes? 70 likes. Oh, there's 30 more likes needed. Come on, come on. There's 89 of you in here. Hit the like button. I'll even like my own stream to get it over to 100 likes. If you can, please, guys. But yeah, subscribe, turn notifications on, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a decent race to end the season tomorrow and it's not a damp squib. I'm not hopeful, but fingers crossed we do. So yeah, have a good rest of your evening, day, morning, wherever you are in the world, and we'll be back tomorrow, half an hour before the race starts. So see you all then. Thanks, guys. Bye.